I know I was pretty close to my hour-long mark. I don't know how or why it went offline or what you missed. So I said, like, I know what these are. These are actually external fuel tanks. That's weird. I wonder why it... I'm kind of curious now when it actually ended. That's so weird that it, like, did that. Home, no. That's so weird. Like, I just happened to look up and it was like, oh, 0 viewers. I'm like, well, that's not right because my stream thing is running. So I at least have a viewer from my stream manager, which for some reason is also not operating right now, which I don't understand. But then I was like, oh, it says offline. That's weird. I shouldn't be offline. That was weird. I'm going to have to double check where the end of that one was. I know I was almost at an hour, so I was already going to be closing it. So, like, I knew where I was, but... Yeah, so remember how I said that there's not a whole lot of extra parts? My extra part is this one little circular doodad. That is my only spare part. I'm going to put that in one of those containers. That's bag 4. So I have about an hour and a half before I got to go pick him up. And then, like I said, I don't know if I'll continue this just to finish this or if I'll wait and then finish it. This isn't going to be like a super exciting stream, obviously, since it's just watching me build a Lego and me rambling about random nonsense. But why is it that the stream doesn't go off to the side, but my YouTube does? But yeah, so, like, I don't know. It's... Maybe I'll do it later. I'll ask him what he wants me to do. Maybe I'll just have him watch the beginning of the stream so that he can see what I was doing and then let me know. I mean, at least this, I don't have to worry about my audio being bad. I might be a little bit too loud because I am, like, getting into the yellow zone of my mic, but I have it turned down a little bit. I also have, like, a pretty good microphone, so... But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him and see if he just wants me to finish it, because, like, now I'm on bag 2. This has taken me a couple of hours. But at the same time, I've got, like, a decent amount of the main thing done, so I don't know how much longer it's actually going to take. Like, obviously, bag 4, it's entirely possible that it won't actually be, like, that much. It's entirely possible that it might end up being, like, a lot of small, like, half-empty bag, because it's only... KJ5. It's a piece of paper that says KJ5. Maybe that's like the inspector or something, and they didn't mean to put that in. Because I imagine they wouldn't want that in, since, like, it's not necessary, but... Maybe it's like an inspector usually puts their number tag in, and then when it goes down the line to whoever seals the bags, which I have done before. Not for Legos, but for... So if you've ever heard of Can Jam, there is one company nearby that, at the time, they had been the only company that made every Can Jam Frisbee in the country for, like, 10 years. Which you might be like, oh, well, that's like a lot. Yeah, there's one machine and it runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A lot of the machines, because it was plastic injection molding, a lot of these machines, well, they could have actually given you something to put on the side, but okay. This machine ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And a lot of the machines, they would make the parts and then they would automatically like finish and then they'd just spit out the parts. There was like one where it was like it made school binders, like it made 3-ring binders, but just the plastic part. And then you would have to like physically open the machine to pull it out. And if you here's the worst part, right? You had to open the machine and then you had to close it. You had about 10 seconds to do that, and if you weren't fast enough and if you didn't close it right, it would turn on a light on the top, and then you'd have to have the manager come over and reset the machine so that it could start again. So you had to do it fast enough. You had a thing to pull things out of it so that you could kind of pull it out easier. But yeah, you had to like pull these parts out like insanely fast. It was very annoying. But the can jam machine, you would literally have to sit there and you'd pull the machine. I think it would put them out manually, but then you would take like a bag and you'd put it in the bag and then you'd like use this thing that would heat it and it just like melts the bag essentially. Anyway. So this one actually had less bags because the other one had, well, yeah, it had like one less bag. So I need 2 of these. And I need 2 doubles. See, now I gotta figure out where things are now. Nope. I gotta figure out which bin they're in. Excuse me. Okay, so I need 2 of those, 2 of those. And an 8. That's not an 8. This might be an 8. That's a 6. I wish there was an easier way just by looking at things. If something like how many things were. I mean, I guess I could just take like a 6. And put it next to a bunch of pieces until I find the right size. See, why are there 6s, 7s, and 10s in one bag? Which means that they're in one of my organizing areas. But then the 8s are in with all of the really big pieces. Alright, sir. I like the song, but for the love of God, I need something a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Cheap views, incompetent baiter. Yeah, you're definitely baiting something. But not me into buying your crappy paid for things. Fucking paying for viewers. That's not viewers. It's just paying to have a number. You gotta grow organically. And that's part of why I'm trying to do this, because I want to do other like real life things, but I kind of haven't figured out exactly. I would like to do maybe some history stuff, but that wouldn't be streams. Those would be like YouTube exclusive things that would only be there. Because I do like history. Maybe if I go to like certain museums, I'll do it. you like record like how they work. I'm like, I don't have a group though. So I don't have like, oh hey, you know, this is actually going to get exposure kind of thing where it's like, oh hey, you know, you're gonna be like, you're actually gonna get some like people be able to see you on YouTube. Nope, because I don't have any views. I don't have any. I don't have an audience. Where does this one go? Oh. Apparently I need to get a better camera for this. I do have a video camera. I don't know if I could live stream through it. Well, I mean, I could probably do a live feed and then hook it to the computer without recording. It's not what I bought it for. I bought it to do, like, live style content. Like, if I was going to go out and, like, record, like, at a museum or something. It's mostly what I bought it for. It probably has a better view than this. I was thinking of doing it for stuff like this, where I would have like the one camera for my face, and then I have that one. But then I'd have to set it up on the tripod, and then I have two separate cameras that I have to put together. And then I'd have to like have it angled, worry about the battery. And it's like, oh, well, you know, putting them together wouldn't be like that hard, and like doing this, that, and everything wouldn't be that hard. Yeah, but I don't know. You don't need to see my face for this, and like where my hands are working, you can see. Okay, so it's not backwards. Like you can see everything that I'm doing, and like it's not great quality. Maybe it's better when you're on a phone or a tablet. Seeing this on, I mean, to be fair, I'm on a 4K monitor, a 4K 28-inch monitor. And, like, yeah, you can read, like, my keyboard and you can read some stuff, but, like, I can see it's fuzzy and it annoys me. But I guess maybe if you're on a phone or something where the screen is smaller. Because here's a little bit of a fun fact for you. 1080p on, like... So 1080p on, like, a 30-inch or a 55-inch TV is not the same as 1080p on, like, a 90-inch TV. Like, I would say 55 inches is about the limit where 1080p looks like 1080p, because after that, it doesn't look high definition anymore. It's just, it's stretching the same amount of pixels through a bigger screen, which is why 1080p on, like, your phone or a tablet looks great. Because it's a small enough screen that you're still packing the same amount of resolution into a smaller space. So it's essentially almost more detailed. Because now instead of having... Because pixels are still the same size no matter what. So having, you know, 1,000 pixels wide by... Or 1920 by 1080. So having almost 2,000 pixels one way and 1,000 up on a 6-inch screen is a lot different than having them on a 90-inch screen, where it's... So it's like, oh, well, you can see more. Yeah, but it's less detailed. Because you get to the point where it's, like, not technically 1080p anymore. So I think, like, realistically, the entire, like, resolution at certain stages, it's, like, the resolution is at a certain amount of size, whereas after that size, you're just no longer that resolution, technically. Like, you are, but it doesn't look good. It starts getting fuzzy. Like, this camera is technically, like, 1,000... Right now, I think it's 1024 by 576, I think it was, which is really weird, because it should be 768, which is technically high definition. 1024 by 768 is high definition. It's over 1,000 pixels. But it's also being displayed on a 4K monitor, which on my desktop and when I run games, it's on 4K. So this is running 4K, but it's running 1,000 pixels on a screen. I mean, it's not full screen on my computer right now, but it's maybe like 10 inches by 10 inches. And it's still fuzzy, and it's still annoying me. Also, my hair is annoying me. But, so, it's one of those things, it's like... Like, you can tell... Is it these? No. Hair, if you could just stay under this band. Dude, it's this one tuft of hair, too. It's not even, like, all of the hair. It's just this one tuft that I stick under. And then it magically makes itself not under anymore. I do not see this piece. It's gray. I'm looking for brown. That might be part of my problem, but it's gray. Dude, I do not see you, homeboy. There you are. It's because I was looking for brown, and then when I looked in this other bin, I'm like, I don't see that. I didn't look for gray. Alright, where the heck is this? It's like right there. I know it's taking me like 10 minutes just to get this one frickin' section done because I've been rambling and looking for parts that are the wrong parts and doing all kinds of other nonsense and whatever and blah, blah, blah. Like I said, this was literally going to be me rambling and building Legos, so... It's me rambling and rambling. Alright, I'm guessing that this is building the engine because it's got a bunch of red pieces, and there's not a whole lot of reason why I would have red pieces. At least since they're red, they're really easy to find. Except when you grab the wrong one. Wait. So you have me do that, but then you rotate it. Oh! Guys, I'm dumb again. Come on. Might have to grab the old kniff. See, the thing is, you might be like, well, doesn't that damage it? Okay, well, that did. But usually, no. If I do it right, it doesn't. If you just... Come on. I need something smaller to do this is part of the problem. Oh, of course that's too small. Guys, we're having a problem. There we go. Gotta have... Oh! I almost dropped it. Let's try to wipe it off. Almost dropped it. Would have been bad. I was sitting there like, how the heck did they do that? And then I'm like, oh. There is literally one of these pieces in this entire area. So flip it upside down. Put in the red bit. So admittedly, I gotta now use a piece that on the ship, they only give you one of these per set. Lego does too. I know, it looks exactly like these types of things. It looks exactly the same, except this is like a little bit longer. They only give you one though, and it's for putting like little circly bits, like these little frickin' things on. Because you stick it on there, and then what you do is you use it to do this. Otherwise, you got to do it manually. And that can be really annoying, especially to line it up right. So what I did when I was doing the ship, I lost that piece because it had been 2 years since I'd built it. And also, I finished the bag that I was on before I moved on. I didn't know where I put this. And I know, it's just like a regular piece. What I ended up doing was I took like a piece of one of the masts, like a little rod, and I stuck it on there and just did that. And just stuck my nail behind it. So I'm going to keep that so I can use it. So I need this and 2 of these. So now I got to use one of these. Now I got to put 2 more red circly doodads. So apparently that friend of mine that I'm supposed to pick up later was not any of the times the one watching. Which I could have sworn it was. But I guess it makes sense because he probably would have, like, thrown something in the chat once or twice. I'll put that on my mouse pad where I can see it. This part's, like, really easy since these are all red pieces. There's, like, maybe 30 total red pieces. So it's, like, really easy to find all the pieces I need. I might be asking, what the heck is red on that thing? It's the engine. I'm, like, 99% sure I'm building the engine right now. Well, they wouldn't have you build the engine separately. You would never see it. Well, that's where you'd be wrong when it comes to really good Legos, or COBI. They do, in fact, actually have you do very high detailed stuff, and then they put things in so that you can actually access those things. Because what somebody might appreciate that, like, a kid might not, is the detail to it. Being able to open it and actually see it. It's like, well, it's just a Lego. Who cares? Well, a Lego is still a form of model building. Now, for kids, yeah, they're usually pretty basic. Like, I used to have an RV, which is cool because the whole back opened like that. So, like, you had the cab and then the... So you could actually, like, get the people in and out and, like, do things. And it had, like, an interior. It's pretty basic. It's pretty small. It's only, like, that long. But, switching the song hand. But something that a kid might not appreciate, an adult will. And, like, that thing was cool, but it's, like, it was still pretty basic. I actually used to have a toy RV, which I think we got at, like, a camping center or something on our way to, or, like, an RV place when we were on our way to do something. But it was, I love that. I wish I could find it. I know it's here somewhere. But it was cool because you could change the layout of the RV. It wasn't a Lego. It was just an actual, like, toy RV. But it was cool because you could change the layout. Like, all the pieces just kind of stuck in. So, like, there was the bathroom. There was, like, a shower piece. There's the bed. You could move them around the thing. And it was really cool. And I wish I could find it. But yeah, you could, like, move all the parts on it. You could do other stuff. It was kind of neat. Huh? So I do this once on this side. Then I turn it around. Oh, okay. I guess that I do it's a different thing on the other side. So I need I need this. I need this. Right? Yeah, because this goes on that. And then that goes over another one of these brown peg things. But it goes over this end. And then that goes into a circle. Goes into one of these. Which actually ends up fitting over this, presumably. And then you stick that in here, right? Yeah. And then you take... See, that looks like it's black, so I want to make sure there isn't, like, a black peg. Because I've also done that where it was, like, a different color, but that was because it was a different length. It's not, so it's just gray. No! See? There's light gray. It wants a darker color. It wants this one, see? Now I would have put the wrong one in the wrong spot. Well, who cares? Because then something would have looked wrong. And now I need the flywheel, which is like an actual specialty piece that looks like a flywheel. See, it's like an actual flywheel. It's got like bolts on it and everything. Oh, that just slides on. That's not even a tight fit. Yo, what? Now I put like a gear on. Oh, wait. Wait, there's two of these? Am I using the wrong thing? Because it looks like the gear is bigger than this piece that I'm using. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Okay. So, let me, before I do this, it is bolts out first. Bolts out. Then there should be bolts on the gear. So then it goes like that. And then it goes with the bolts out again. And then I use like a little square bit. This little guy to keep everything together. That is not a lot of room to get that on there. Does it go like the other? Ah, it goes the other way. Okay, now I build a whole different thingy. Black pieces are kind of hard to like see what you're doing with them. Just because, you know, they're a dark color. So I need a hooky boy. Ah! And then I need... See, where's this 90-degree piece? Ah, here it is. Oh, I don't need two of these. This is the same. Okay. So I take one of these. And I need... I put this facing this way. What in goodness gracious am I building? You better make sure it's like blatantly obvious that I need to leave to pick them up. It takes like half an hour to get out there, and then there's going to be traffic and stuff, so... Bro. Come on, get on there. 'Cause... 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 'C Is this like the wrong piece or something? Okay, there we go. Okay, so I do that. Now I do another one of these. Come on, get on there. Come on, thank you. My God. And then I do the other side. Oh no. Then I do backwards. So I do one to the right. Then I do one backwards. Then I do another to the right, and then I do a regular square. So I need one of these. No, I want... Yeah. Dude, what in goodness gracious is this nonsense for? So now I need another one of these to the side. What in goodness gracious is this for? So shit like this is going to take longer just because it's more work to get a single little freaking tiny nub piece on than it is to get like a whole freaking big... Oh my god, dude, I thought this was all the way on and it wasn't. There we go. And then I need another one of these off to the side. What scares me is the fact that there's like enough of these pieces to make a second one of these. And that would just be awful. Oh my god, dude, what is this for? Oh my god, get on there. Oh my god. Let's see if I can just do it this. There we go. Oh my god. Dude, there had better be a legitimate reason for doing all of this nonsense. I hate it when you have to work with a bunch of single pieces, because there's... I don't even have big fingers. Oh my god. What in God's name is this for? Like, what is this for? It's got a bunch of these, like, little nubs on one side. Focus. This is either really low res or it's just not focusing. I'm pretty sure it's just not focusing. But, like, why? You'll find out in a minute. Yeah, I know I will. It doesn't mean I'm happy about it. So now I need a peg facing down. Okay, peg facing down. And then a round boy. You know, they're not called that. They're called something else. Yeah, well. So, is this a flat one that I'm putting on here? I guess. Carl's not sitting over by the thing. I'm probably going to have to put him out before I... Oh my god, go in! You have to do it, like, from the one side first, otherwise it's not... There we go. Okay, so why do I have an engine? It's funny, because it almost fits inside the engine bay. It makes sense. And then I have this frickin' goofy thing. What in God's name am I building? This is where somebody joined, they're like, hey, what are you building? I don't even know at this point. No, what's the set? Oh. See, now I have this thing. Now I have this thing. Now I'm building some other unrelated thing. I need a peg. Oh my god. I need this. I need this. Oh my god. I need this. And I need this insignificantly tiny thing. And one of them just rolled underneath my keyboard, and it keeps rolling underneath my keyboard. Stop! Stop being round and doing round item things. No! Stop going under the freaking keyboard. Stay. You guys are all tiny. Stop. I'm trying to freaking have this be underneath the keyboard so that the keyboard holds the pages. Okay. So it's... No, don't roll under the thing. Stop it. So it's... Stop. Stop. Stay. So it's little tiny peg goes in this. This goes in peg thing. This goes in this. What in God's name am I building? Okay. Now, I add a little gray thing. Another sleeve. But not to where it's all the way down. Hint to anyone who designs something like this. Don't design something where it's supposed to have like a gap like that, and then on here you show me the gap, because there's no way I'm going to be able to figure out the freaking gap. I mean, I know that usually once you get it put together, it'll like kind of figure it out, especially when now there's one on each side, and now I got to try to get them so that they're not all the way. Oh, okay. See, yeah, so these are going to be going on here, so like realistically, as long as it's wide enough for it to fit. Huh? Okay. Oh no. Oh no. I might have put it on wrong. No! So it's supposed to be on this side. City of the... Someone's gonna know what that song is just by that short amount that I just sang. But it's fine, because I didn't sing enough that it would be copyrighted. And, don't worry about it. Remember how I said, oh, I'm building the engine? And, you know, it was like, oh, well, how do you know that you're building the engine? Well, because number one, that first bit looks like an engine plus. That's an engine head. Or valve cover, I guess, would be the more accurate. Boom! This is weird. And now I have to build another fucking one. Oh my god. No! No! Why couldn't you have just made me do both at the same time? I actually had that happen with the ship. Usually you do like two separate pieces to get like the one side and the other side together. And then you just put them together. Well, it ended up doing it like this, where it had you do one side, then the other side. And I noticed that it was going to be something where it was just mirror imaged. And it just said to like do it twice. It was a bunch of the turrets, I think, or something. And I was like, oh, well, I know what these look like, so I'm just going to do them now. And so I ended up just doing them all ahead of time. And by the time I was done, it was like, oh, hey, now do that a second time. And I'm like, hey, joke's on you. I already did it. It's like, well, it's not that impressive since, like, you kind of already knew, and also, like, cool, you did something that you would have had to do anyway. Yeah, but look, let me have this, okay? Maybe I'll see if I can play my repo with my buddies later, because there's some mods that are really fun. See, my buddy won't play with us, and he's all like, well, I want to let you guys play together. Like, you know, that's kind of like your thing. Like, dude, games are not like our thing. If you're interested in playing the game, frickin' join us. Oh, shoot. No, I'm fine. It's like, dude, don't worry about it. Like, a game is not our, like, mine and somebody else's game. It's a game for everybody to enjoy. Like, you can join us. It's perfectly fine. Plus, some games having more is better. Like that one, you know, having 6 people is great. This is actually going by faster than the first time I had to do this. Probably because I already kind of know. But yeah, like, it's, you know, you can join. It's fine. Like, the one game me and my buddy play, he's like, well, no, that's your game. Like, you know, I just watch it when you guys stream. I'm like, that's because every time we play it, you end up having to, like, go to work or something. But also, like, I stream it because you're supposed to be deciding if you actually, like, want to, like, get it to play it with us. Not just so that, like, you know, you can watch it so you can figure out if you want to play it so that we can all play it together. Is this, like, the full frickin' thing? It is. That's why it's, like, 10 minutes long. I didn't think it was, because I've heard that song before, and it's usually a lot, goes harder than that, but... this song is pretty good. I just need some level of background noise. See, that's the thing. When I'm playing, like, some games, when I said, like, oh, well, you know, if you're playing something that you... like, I don't need to hear the game audio, and it's like, well, I want background noise. Like, yeah. Sometimes I want something in the background. I used to only be able to play games with, like, the actual in-game sound, but I mean, I guess nowadays it's like, well, some things I've heard a bunch of times, or, like, with, like, the farming game, it's like, I mean, if I'm playing with my buddy, I don't mind hearing all the farm machine equipment, but at the same time, there are times where I literally spent 4 hours cutting down and mulching trees. So it's like, yeah, I don't need to hear like that and listen to the idling of the engines for like 4 straight hours while I'm doing stuff. And then he joins, and then it's like, look what I accomplished, and he'll be like, yeah. And it's like, cool, dude, I literally spent like 6 hours of my actual life doing this. Well, how excited do you expect me to be when I'm tired? I don't know, stop being tired. Don't know what to tell you, man. This calls for a triple. Are you sure you want a triple? I don't see no triples. And you didn't want a triple on the last one. I don't know, seems sketchy. Hang on, let me make sure I do this right. Oh no. Is this what the other one had, or is this like slightly different? He had better like... Seriously, he'll be there at like 12:15. Well. Alright, now I need to do my pegs again. God dang it. Where's the shorty peg? Alright, I need shorty peg, sleeve, full peg. I know what some of you are going to be thinking when I say that. Stop it. Behave. I know what some of your dirty minds are thinking, and you need to stop it. Honestly, this section probably won't take that long. Like, I think I'm not almost done with this bag, but like, it's not, you know, nearly at, like, I mean, I guess the engine is taking me a while, but there's a whole bunch of pieces left, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to take that long, because a lot of them are bigger, and some are probably, like, doing other stuff. No! Oh, okay, I see what happened. I kind of see what happened. Where'd the gear go? There it is. They maybe should have used a slightly longer peg for this. Well, there were other pegs, I know, but this is the one that they kind of wanted. Like, this barely sticks out far enough to use this. But they're the ones that wanted me to use this one, so. Hang on, I can actually make more peg if I do that. Oh, I don't want to push down through too far. Because then there won't be enough engagement to get this frickin' thing on there. The problem is that this section wants to, like, push it off, which might mean that I put it on wrong. Wait. Oh, yeah, I might have put these on wrong. My bad. Come on, come apart. Thank you. So I think, because these are trying to pop this off, I think the way it's supposed to be... Oh my god, really? You pulled this off too? Stop. So, like, the new one is supposed to be on this side. No, that's... Because if it was supposed to be the other way, that actually makes sense, because then these would be set back a little bit. If they had just used a peg that was, like, an inch longer, which there's not other pegs. This was the peg it was supposed to be. Yeah, if they just used a peg that was, like, an inch longer... If I could, like, scoot these back... Like, honestly, what they should have done was taken this piece and put it one back, if they could have. That would just be far enough that it could, like, chill. But... And then we take this. Then we put the engine into its home. If you think cars are hard to work on, try a tank where the engine is buried inside of... It annoys me that those are, like, angled. Because obviously these are the camshafts, and that would not be angled, and that bothers me. Now I need these. So it does annoy me that they decided to use these where they're printed on, because this is supposed to be a saw blade, because a lot of the Russian tanks were built I guess because they had like extra logs on them, they had other things basically, so that if they had to get through mud and a forest, they could do it. Just put like put the little holdy bits, and then make like a saw. Maybe give me holdy bits and put like a log on the side. Just give me a bunch of like wooden pieces. Come on, man. Oh God, what am I doing now? Oi. I need 2 of these. 2 of these. And 2 of these. I'm sorry, now where are these going? And why didn't you have me put them in earlier? Yeah, as I was saying, like, if you think that working on a car is hard, try a vehicle that's designed to have, like, inches of armor in between you and everything inside. A vehicle that, like, is cram-packed, because if there was more room, it would be being taken up by armor. Oh God, now what am I building? I wish that with these pieces, they would come up with a better way of showing you, like, oh, it's like 1-to-1. Cool. I mean, still, better way than just, like, because they're flat, so there's not really a good way to figure it out aside from that. Which, I'll be honest, it did take me a while to actually realize that that's what they meant instead of that. So the equivalent of a 3, but they don't actually have the things for it. I'm going to stick them on, then I'm going to check and make sure the size is correct, because, you know. Oh, I'm dumb. One of these is in here, then both of them is in here. Linking the tracks together is going to suck. Oh, we're almost at an hour. I should have been paying more attention. So yeah, I'm going to be ending this one once again. The next one is probably only going to be... He'll be there at like 12:15. I might only do a 15-minute stream because he's supposed to be down at like 12:15. Then he's probably got to like do other stuff, but I probably shouldn't like spend too much more. dog, other things. So yeah, probably gonna kind of have this wrap up. But yeah, so this is gonna be the end of this one, and I'll do